Quitting your job doesn't have to be a messy situation. By the end of this video, you'll have all the information you need to quit your job with class, keep your personal integrity intact, be in the driver's seat of your career, and 4, set you up for success in your next position. Many people make the mistake of skipping these steps and then regret it later because the last couple of weeks at their old job were a really bad experience for them, or important work they've done is left behind, and so is the irreplaceable social proof of you doing that work. In this video, I will share how you can quit your job professionally. This is my personal process. I've used it when leaving quite a few of my corporate America roles, and it works really well. Watch to the end as I have a bonus for you. Join my Career Corner newsletter to gain access to my Leveraging LinkedIn Masterclass, which is not available anywhere else. How do you save yourself hours of work in your new role? You prepare. If you were to quit effective immediately, what records would you leave behind? What's sitting on your hard drive? What would help you save hours of future work? Do you have your personal records and your belongings cleared from your existing workspace? Do you have copies of your reviews, your weekly or monthly report cards or dashboards? These are some questions that you can start asking yourself the moment you make the decision to leave your job. Think of the reports that show your individual level or team level contributions. What about training documents or presentations you've made, standard operating procedures, or things that can go in your portfolio? What about client compliments? Have you made any appearances in the company newsletter? Have you contributed to any firm publications? How about winning awards? Any recognitions? Are you leaving benefits on the table? This is not an exhaustive list. I want you to think about PTO or sick time. What about your 401k? When do your health benefits end? What's in your employee contract or your offer letter? Do you want to be rehired? All of these things should be laid out in your employee handbook, and you want to figure out those rules so that you know how you want to proceed. If this information is helpful, hit the like button. We are going to be getting into the mechanics of an exit interview shortly. Resigning is so much more than the letter that you have to write. Is a 2-week notice really necessary? I mean, 2 weeks notice is a courtesy. It is not a requirement. It's not a law, at least not here in the US. But you do want to check, does your company have a policy or an expectation, or was there something in your initial offer letter that you have to comply with? There's often a different expectation for somebody in management versus somebody that's in an individual contributor role. Let's talk about the resignation process. Make sure that all the details are in play for your new firm. So including an offer letter, is it signed? Is it accepted? Are your pre-employment screens successful? Etc. You want to make sure everything's all lined up in your new role. You want to have a conversation with your direct leader. Face-to-face is best. If that's not possible, I would go video call as the next option, phone call as the next option. And then if you cannot reach anybody, then it should be an email. I wouldn't use text messaging to resign. Have a copy of the letter available if you're in a face-to-face meeting so you can hand it over after the talk, or you can email it following the conversation. Include important details in your resignation letter, like your last day, any instructions about handling a specific situation like a PTO payout, etc. You want to make an offer to help train or transition your responsibilities over. You want to include instructions about how you want to receive your last paycheck or any bonuses that are owed to you. And when emailing the final version of your resignation letter, copy in your HR business partner. Can you negotiate when you're leaving a job? On some things you can. These are the things that I found are open to negotiation. How will your departure be communicated to the many audiences you work with? And I'm thinking here, like your team, your peers, other leaders, vendors, clients, anybody that you work with in your current job. Can you work remotely a few days to help finish documenting a process or get your transition plan in place? Although you've done everything you can to work out your notice, some of these things are beyond your control. Be prepared that the company may ask you to leave immediately and not allow you to work out your notice. Has this ever happened to you before? Comment with your experience. Have you set up your replacement for success? Have you created a transition plan? A transition plan includes a narrative of what projects and work you have going on in process. Who are your key contacts, their information, their contact preferences? Who will be assigned to your duties temporarily? And will you be training someone to take over the work you do, or will you just be writing out those processes? And you want to go ahead and write those standard operating procedures and notify your manager where they are stored. Are you helping select your replacement? Do you have to be available for interviews? If it's possible, can you recommend a high potential direct report should you skip the exit interview? Exit interviews should be conducted so the employer learns why someone is leaving. It may help them look for patterns. And of course, it allows them to correct the issue if there is one found. But many times this information collected can be used as ammunition against the employee that's leaving. So I've had some mixed experiences myself with exit interviews. And I'm always cautious. If you are thinking about leaving your current role, you should really consider the fallout from an exit interview. Maybe nothing will happen at all, but maybe it will somehow turn around and work against you. So think about those things when you're deciding if you should grant them the option of an exit interview. And now it's time for that bonus that I promised you. Are you ready for your next role? I've prepared a 3-point plan to set you up for success in your new role.